Monday next week, I estimate there's going to be more rubble.
Don't you want them decentralized? You know, like you don't want some diaspora movement, and in 1,000 years from now, they'll be claiming they're the original Jews, and they're coming back to reclaim their land. Like it'll never end for these fucking people unless essentially you decentralize them, rehypnotize and program them, and I'm not saying bribe them, but give them something to where they can start normal lives and essentially diffuse back into their newly adopted mother countries, which should be fucking Arab.
Well, I think he's just responsible there because, like, wherever one of them is, they're like fucking leaves. Like, they just grow.
But they speak Arab. They're just Arabs. Send them and diffuse them into all the Arab countries. Make Saudi Arabia, make Kuwait, Qatar, everything. They got to take them.
That would be, I think, one of the best approaches. Just like split them, because if you keep them all together in one place, it'll be the same shit show. Like they will organize and whatever. You need to send 100,000 to each place. And separate them all.
Some 10,000.
Break them down.
Listen, I think that, like I said, any country that's going to be willing to accept them, I think is how you start this. And you start voluntarily. And the people that remain, we know that they're the true believers in Hamas, the true believers in jihad, that won't go, and those people are the ones that we're going to have to fight. But if we give an opportunity for the non-combatants, for the people that are ready to surrender, the opportunity to surrender and go seek refuge, I think that is a humanitarian evacuation of refugees. And I believe that's our duty to offer that. And it's countries like, well, let me just place the blame squarely on America, first and foremost, when Joe Biden on the third day after this war said that they will not allow the displacement of the Gazans. That right there was a fucking curse. And the blood of these dead people in Gaza, the dead Gazans, the dead Arabs and Gazans, a lot of that blood is on Joe Biden's hand for not forcing Egypt's hand in order to open the gate to allow refuge, at least to set up temporary refugee camps in the Sinai. They could be away from the war zone to help prevent unnecessary civilian death of children and babies, etc. But no, our president of the United States last year, in 2023...
Did you, expect him to make a good decision or something? I mean, he's a catastrophe of a human. He's a total piece of shit.
I know, listen, well, you know what? He didn't make the decision, to be fair about it. I'm sure that someone else was running it. And yes, I do expect that of our leaders. And I would have expected that of the leader of the Senate, the leader of the House, and not to mention America should have been screaming out loud, and not to mention the leaders of Europe. Oh, not to mention the leaders in the Arab and the Islamic countries should have been like, get our people out of there. When Russia invaded Ukraine, millions and millions of Ukrainians flooded throughout Europe, and every country opened the door to accept these refugees. Okay? So, the second country, Assisi in Egypt, he has the blood on his hands. Probably about as much as Joe Biden in America. Somewhere equal. He's still locking the door. He's still not accepting it. He doesn't have to accept them to integrate them into a society. They could set up temporary housing in the Sinai. Open the airport. It's 50 miles away from the border. At Rafah, it's like 50 miles. There's an airport.
Yeah, but what's the point of doing, why do a short-term fix for a long-term problem? I mean, they're going to need permanent resettlement.
It's a stepping stone, Edmund. It's a stepping stone. First, you get them out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Before we continue, guys, let's go ahead and say hello to Roman that joins us on the stage. Hello, Roman. Hope your day's been well.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me up here. Yeah, my day's been okay. Thank you.
I think Roman didn't appreciate you putting him under the spotlight. But, yeah.
I mean, Edmund, what do you think?
Well, shit. I mean, they need. This is like a chessboard. I mean, they got to get as many people out as humanly possible. At the same time, keep the pressure up, and then eventually pincer move in and wipe them the fuck out. I mean, this is World War II. You know, this is the fait accompli. I mean, this is the winner takes all. Like, you cannot let a metastasized cancer to continue to persist. And the fact that it went on for so fucking long, it's just unbelievable that they were
The
able
fact
to.
that it went for so fucking long is because they have not allowed Israel to win. They have always been.
I know, but
They
imagine
control
living in Manhattan and having rockets fired into Manhattan every single week.
I know.
The fuck? Get the fuck. New Jersey would be wiped off the face of the fucking earth the next day. That is unacceptable behavior to the highest degree imaginable. I mean, that I don't. You know, Israel has to look at itself in the mirror and say, okay, well, we learned a lesson, and we're not going to repeat it again. Never again. If you remember that mantra, never again, you won't fuck this one up.
That's right. But the international community is just so loud and, oh my God, Israel is abusing these people. They are overreacting.
Well, I need to be fair, Scribe. I mean, how many times have we actually learned from our own mistakes? You know, so we keep on, as civilization, we seem to keep on making the same mistake over and over again.
That's a fair statement, Stephen. We just keep butting our heads into the wall and looking for a different outcome. And you're absolutely right.
Oh, let me just interrupt you, Sean, to say hello to Brian. You see how ridiculous that sounds?
How's it going?
It's always very encouraging when someone comes up on stage. It means that they have some deep control.
No. When you have a stage with 50 people, you cannot just interrupt the conversation. Say hello to the ones that are coming up.
I don't know about that, Lisa, but I don't, as far as I can count, that's not very far. We're not 50 on stage. We're just a few people having a conversation.
You're too European.
Ethan needs to smoke a lot of weed.
I think Western societies have forgotten what winning a war looks like and what it entails. And they're just very uncomfortable with the idea of a country they associate with the West decisively winning a war against a non-Western opponent. It just still makes a lot of Westerners very uncomfortable. And I think that's why they're so aghast at like what Trump is talking about with changing the status quo in Gaza, and it's why they always, insist. Even the ones who say that they're pro-Israel, they basically think that Israel should just fight until they kill a certain number of people and then go back to like as if nothing had ever happened. It's very perverse.
What do you think, Brian, the reaction from Israel is going to be to the latest events? The mom not being the mom, the two kids being brutally murdered, the bombs in the buses.
I mean, I think Hamas was expecting the ceasefire to end, honestly. I think that's why they timed the bus. I mean, first of all, they took responsibility for the 6 bombs on buses that went off prematurely, and they're supposed to go off like about an hour and a half ago, in the morning. And they knew that when the Israelis got back those bodies and saw how those kids were murdered and saw that they basically broke the terms of the ceasefire agreement by not sending them the body, that they claimed was hers. They knew that they were breaking the ceasefire, and so they timed these bombs to go off as well.
And also the notes, the things that they put in the coffins, right? Because they said, they put something like, if you attack us, we will kill all the remainder or whatever, all the hostages left. They also put that in the coffins of the kids.
Yeah, so
If you attack us again, we're going to kill all the remainder hostages.
yeah, so I mean, like phase 2 of this deal is probably never going to happen. I think the consensus in Israel is still just, get as many living hostages out as you can before the fighting resumes. But
Yeah,
Hamas is
I don't
basically,
think that we're gonna make it to tomorrow.
it's raising the cost to get anyone else out. Honestly, they are changing the equilibrium with this kind of like psychological warfare. Because before, like even as recently as this week, I heard there was a poll that said something like 70% of Israelis supported the deal, that support, the releases to get the living hostages back. But when Hamas does shit like this, it's not Hamas, like when Gazans show who they are in this way, it makes it so that Israelis will say, you know what, like we can't live with this, and we got as many hostages out as we could, we did what we could, but ultimately, like we're not going to allow this to survive and regrow. So yeah, it's like waiting for an earthquake in California. Like it's gonna come, you just don't know when. But the fighting's definitely gonna resume.
I should hope so.
Yeah, and then we'll finally see like what it looks like when Israel's at war while there's a friendly American administration. I think the Biden administration really tied Israel's hands for the last year and a half.
Yeah, but I also had like the same point, just like what you were saying. When I started seeing like their message saying, attack us, we will kill the hostages, and then the mom not being the mom, and then the kids, the kids autopsy, and then the bombs. It's like, yeah, these guys knew that they were fucking this one up. They knew that they were, yeah, was not going to end well.
I don't know if anyone saw that video made by this Palestinian influencer in Gaza, like showing herself drinking coffee while watching I don't know what to call it, the ceremony.
No, when they were giving the kids back?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched any of that. A friend has told me what happened. He mentioned that I haven't seen the footage yet, but that there were a lot of kids being brought to where
there were thousands of people. They brought their kids. They brought their nargila pipes. They were smoking shisha.
And that they were all dancing.
They were playing celebratory music.
With the coffins, yeah.
With the coffins, with all the other propaganda shit written on them and inside, and behind them with the banner. Like, this is a sick, depraved culture.
Yeah, but it was a whole production put behind it.
With their children, Brian. They're teaching their children to celebrate the death of the...
Yeah, they've been teaching them this for generations now. This is the result.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to see... This was one of the first really shocking things that I saw down the month. These kids TV show where they have like a fake Mickey Mouse that is talking to children and teaching them how to hate Israelis and how to kill them and how to commit martyrdom and how to wrap a vest
Sesame Street? That's fucking.
Yeah, well, it's also sort of Sesame Street because it's like this puppet, you know, the giant puppet, the giant Mickey Mouse with a little girl, and they're talking, you know. And then Mickey Mouse apparently, like Disney, sued them or something. And so they were forced to take out the Mickey Mouse, and then they replaced him with like a bee. And so, but they have to, in order to put the story together, like they were like, oh yeah, well, Mickey Mouse or whatever the name was, because it was another name, was killed by the Jews and by the Israelis. And oh yeah, the bee was there. It's like, oh yeah, my cousin Mickey Mouse was sacrificed and martyred by the Jews, and so now we need to revenge his death. And so they're talking about how Jews allegedly tortured Mickey Mouse and they killed him, and now they need to revenge his death. And then he starts explaining the little girl in the show, how the different ways that she should do this. You know, she could do this. And then they start talking about the vests, you know, and how committing martyrdom in the name of the cause is the right thing to do, and how if you do this, like God is gonna love you. It's really creepy, the whole thing.
There's somebody famously that said something about not only killing your enemy, but all the male offspring of said enemy, because the likeliness of that male offspring growing up and coming after you is highly likely.
I put a link in the chat. It's not what I was trying to find, but this is also an interesting article. But there was an article I read about this like former Israeli police officer who is like leading this free the hostages movement, and he's like basically calling out the government and trying to radicalize the population to put pressure to free the hostages. I don't know if it's like in a positive way or in a negative way, but it was interesting because in Israel itself, you have a spectrum of political disposition and how to respond. And so it's just interesting, like the index internally in Israel amongst the population on how to proceed. I mean, in terms of, forced removal and the whole enchilada.
You see these numbers, like they were giving 33 hostages in exchange for 1,900 terrorists, prisoners.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? I mean, it's so, you could never say you'd have to say we did everything we could do to free you, everything, knowing that we were going to wage war even after we freed you, but to think that you would just go in and wipe out your own hostages to wipe them out is a very difficult decision to make. And, you hear this stupid term Hannibal Directive all the time. But, I don't know what Israel's going to do. It is the worst balancing act. It is a very difficult balancing act, one that has no definitive outcomes because it's all just technically a funeral procession being supervised by the leaders on both sides. I mean, that's what the Tao Te Ching says, that all war is technically just a funeral procession. So there's no winners, there's just death. But long-term, geostrategically, why would you want a tumor, to continue to grow and perpetuate and just be that annoying mosquito that never goes away? I mean, time to bring out the big fly swatter and make a decisive decision.
I agree. It'll be interesting these next couple of days.
Get the top of the one going.
things. Like I really don't like to watch footage from the killings or the dead or whatever. Just in order to try to stick with my objectivity, also because I don't want to get desensitized. But I gotta admit that this thing with the kids, it was very disturbing. It upset me a lot, and I don't know. I think this was way too much.
Well, look, you're the perfect diagnostic as to what that video was intended to do, which is to gaslight.
What video?
How they paraded around the Bebos twins and everything they're doing. I
No,
mean,
but
they're
I have
acting
not
like they're
watched
from
it
medieval
yet.
times.
I have not watched it yet, Edmund. That's what I'm saying. Just I am feeling like heartbroken for this thing, even without seeing the videos. I have not watched them. I've just been told what happened, but I have not watched them.
In some ways,
anybody remember those really shitty 80s movies called The Faces of Death?
Yeah.
I grew up watching those, and like I've actually watched those really high on fucking LSD. And then we've got one of my favorite bands of all time, Shane's Addictions. They started a long time ago in the late 80s, early 90s. Nothing was shocking because of everything that's been flickered on that freaking white box up there. This has been you just brought up a point of the desensitization, and subscribe lists bring up a lot, our conditioning, our freaking, it's, where do we go from here? It's not just been a problem in Gaza, it's a problem around the world. People just have a problem recognizing that evil exists, like unambiguous evil is real in the world. And I think modern Western people have a really hard time accepting that. And I think that a lot of people, like this week, have come to the realization that Palestinian self-rule has been a very, just an unmitigated disaster for over 30 years now. We've just seen how it's just only leads to more and more realms of violence, and that society has been given hundreds of billions of dollars in international aid over the decades. Like, all of their leaders are corrupt billionaires, and most of that resources has either been stolen or turned to be used for violent ends. And all the while, their culture and their education system has radicalized people and produced the kind of society that anthropologists will be studying for years that we saw in this, footage from yesterday. So I don't know, what's going, to happen, what the future brings, but I do know the idea of the two-state solution is dead. It has to die. It's just an abject failure. And I feel like I had this realization on October 7th. Other people, for whatever reason, needed more time, or they needed to see more. But the only thing Palestinian self-rule has achieved is it's given them the agency to show the world who they really are and what they're really about. But it's time to move on from that now. Well, as I found a lot in life, you generally do have to give people enough rope to fucking hang themselves. Yeah, but it shouldn't have come at the expense of so many thousands of innocent lives.
They're not going to turn back. They'll never surrender. Their energy is too high. It's like a phallus. They will not, it won't extinguish until literally it's capped. And there's a machismo, but I think the interesting thing is the communication warfare now versus where it was when it started. It does seem, in my opinion, to be diminished significantly. whether that's internal controls, at Meta, at Google, at Microsoft, etc. The type of propaganda that's being disseminated has been extinguished significantly. I don't know if you remember that original guy who was an American. He's like a fake black guy, I believe, and he was publishing all these traumatic baby videos. So Sean King, yeah.
Malcolm X.
Yeah, that piece of shit. Like he had a big presence and a big, you know, popular position, or the fact that those baby videos kept coming out was so shocking, and the fact that Meta just put it out there, just kept showing all these baby videos, on the operating table, etc., and how they like before they even do medical treatment, they're like, make sure you film, like keep filming, get more videos, make more videos. It was very sick to watch those videos because that child is not getting the help it needs, and they're trying to create as many videos as possible before doing the help. It's very fucked up and sick. So in terms of that type of propaganda, like that stuff has been significantly, tampered down in terms of distribution, as far as I know. But I don't watch Al Jazeera, etc. So my algorithm isn't showing me what it used to. But I'm just saying, I believe, in my opinion, that part of the war, the communication strategy, has at least been implemented. That horrific propaganda is not getting out, and causing maybe terrorist attacks and other, problems through that communication.
You bring up an interesting subject of propaganda because it reminds me of the conversation I was having the other day, and how you say it all the time, describe this, the mass freaking hallucination we're all under, and the mass hypnosis that we're all under, and the actual production of a reality TV show. I find it humorous that a good percentage of people don't understand how those things are made, and yet they still want to consider it reality TV, and they generally, tend to mimic these people and think that it's somewhat of a good idea to be like this. And then the spectrum has gotten even broader with all the, streams and TikToks and this, that, and the other thing. People staging being rich, and they're never rich. They pay $500 to be in that freaking, take that photo shoot in that house for, 4 hours, and they got enough content to freaking fill up the stage for the next 6 fucking months. When are we going to, censor the illusion? It is because, so we, on a microcosm, we saw this, a familiar scenario to the ones that just won't back down with the Black Panther and the Us movement in Los Angeles. And what came of the Black Panther and the Us movement being dissolved is an uncontrollable, unfreaking reasonable group of people that formed the Crips and the Bloods and just started freaking terrorizing, California. So, if you're gonna kill them, you have to kill all their children too. It's just the unfortunate freaking fact of the matter. No. What I'm saying, Sasha, is that if that is to play out, not that I agree with killing anybody, but the unfortunate truth is, if you're trying to eliminate something, the children of the freaking fallen will freaking rise up every time. It's been proven time and time again throughout history. Yeah, it's been proven throughout history, Sasha.
It's very dramatic, though. That's very movie-like that they shall rise up. Where are the children of the Nazis right now? Are they right? When you're distributed and you're re-educated and you're reintegrated, there's no rising back up per se.
It developed, but you're getting kept on now, President. The states will be unleashed. Mechanical knife is the whole world will be unleashed. But they are handicapping us. days ago, I don't know, but we're checking. We are now the new slave of our own.
Well, if you want to win, you have to divide and Sasha, shut the fuck up. If you want to win, you got to divide and conquer.
Hey, Edith, Edith, fucker, you have to actually understand the point of that little display I did. The German people are addled by here in Spain, yet they paid for it over and over again. They need to rise up legitimately this time with strength and unity and you know, be a beacon in Europe. They can fucking turn it around if they try, but they don't have the proper leadership. Maybe somebody will rise up on you know, the moderate right, you know, follow Orban Trump's example, fix some shit. I mean, it could be really good. I don't think they're going to go too far. Of course they won't. They're the ones that fucking almost drowned in that mistake. You know, they'll be the best not to repeat it. Hopefully, we can test it again.
Well, I mean, it just kind of sucks, Sasha, that like really the only too far is nuclear warfare. You know, I mean, because that's just the inevitable destruction of us all, and we all damn well fucking know it. You know, even if we shot the freaking missile out in the stratosphere, the freaking fallout would rain over all the rest of the world. So.
Okay, so yeah, no recharge has control over nuclear arsenal. That's what you're saying. That can in the atmosphere, yeah.
We gotta get the suitcase. The passcodes from Donald Trump. He's the threat to the world.
You gotta get him.
Steven, I like your little PTR there. Purple was my favorite color.
Oh, that was the Aurora Borealis in Northern California.
Yeah, I didn't see much on it.
Did you?
The great size picture on my screen.
Did you see that we did launch a nuclear weapon from Vandenberg, I believe, yesterday?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Sasha, I couldn't tell you in the other room, but it's been a long time.
Not only that, was that Edmund that said that about the
Tim was
Yeah.
sounds?
Sorry, Emil.
Not only that, but we flew several flights with B-52 bombers that went from through Europe into the Middle East and publicized it to show what we can do and where we can go. What?
Wasn't it amazing and glorious to show the world? Like,
You know what, Sasha? It's fuck around and find out. And we're right around the find out time.
hey, I'm not, dude, I don't know you, so I can't be attacked with you, right?
Well, who the fuck knows?
You
get attacked on SAP all the time, trust me. You don't even know me.
You're a placeholder for a springboard my ideas, and I am too. I'm a placeholder for something you can use against me. And I didn't want to use this against you. You just got defensive, and I lost my train of thought. But maybe it was show military might. When I was living in China, when I was in Hong Kong, I don't know how long.
Sasha, put down the hash pipe, man. Put down the hash pipe.
No, my mouth is dry. I can go articulate. Okay, Steven? You're the one that's slow. Don't make me lose my train of thought. I'd like to get out because I can do it quickly, okay? Motherfuckers, it's your main topic, okay?
Just
No
focus.
hash pipe. I did smoke some weed, which I usually don't. That makes me more excited. Docile. So when I was in
Oh my God, Sasha, you just proved
My
me
God,
right.
Steven, don't
I
stop
was in-
interrupting.
I was in Hong Kong. And mainland China,
Are you still in Hong Kong?
I was in Hong Kong. I'm just telling the story. And then mainland China had got a hold of some old military aircraft carrier, and they could park it off coast, and it just interrupted everything. The interruption, I thought, was handled well, like it would have been in the West, you know, in a European country or America. Canada, we could more easily, more notifications and everything. And of course, they parked it off of it. It wasn't very impressive. I think it was cloudy. They had lots of pollution. And mind you,
What was the temperature like that day?
this is from Hong Kong. I don't know. It was like I don't know, 10 years ago. One of my it was very
comes to the point.
Wait, what did you have for lunch that day, Sasha?
I'm just saying, it's very unimportant.
Chinese food, of course.
There's a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Don't have McDonald's, man. Yeah, you got egg for you on that day.
And that related to an attack
Logo guy, man.
on Stephen.
Can you send one guy?
But
Can you send one guy that day?
a little bit too.
Hey, man, I just smoked a fuckload of weed, dude, and I'm more articulate than you are.
I spoke to you before, Stephen.
Yeah, we know each other. You're good people.
You're reasonable, but you're still broken.
Well, show me one of us that doesn't give me a good
It takes one to know one, Sasha.
That was the proper response. Give me more. Come on. Sure.
My dick is bigger than yours, Sasha.
Shave that ugly fucking mustache off your fucking stupid black and white photo.
You got one. That was good.
What are you from, like a 1920s black and white film with Johnny Depp or something? Like, get alive, get a PTR or something.
You think it was Jasmine? On your tax, the level of your tax. Like, oh my God,
You catfishing with that photo. You making yourself look 6'3". You like 5'6", bitch.
Wait, are you, how tall are you, Sasha?
Unfortunately, I am
4'11".
3'8".
But yeah, I don't know, Edmund is right. That's what makes you look tall.
That's just a new app. I'm not saying it's whatever.
Why are you smoking weed?
Filling up water.
Issa, don't you know in America, weed is legal in almost every single state.
It's funny, I have somebody asked me about my height. I've got a whole
Are you embarrassed of your height?
No, but for some, I don't think I am.
Yeah, how many times have lived
If
since
I
you
am.
have, Sasha?
If I am embarrassed about my height, I don't know that I am. But I have an apology story, which makes me think that subconsciously I am.
Okay, so how tall are you?
I need to give it with the apology story.
I like Sasha.
Yeah, although sometimes
Sasha's good people.
sometimes Sasha gets very highly emotional.
Yeah, you
and
just
then
need a lot of time.
He turns into a whiny bitch, but I really like him.
You
That's
just,
when you tell him to put the ice pick down or pick it up, one of the two. You know.
Do you know who Sasha? Just want to say this one last thing, and then you go to your apology story. Do you know who he reminds me of? Like 2 or 3 years ago, to Zach Ruda. Like I think both were highly emotional, both of them. But anyway, go ahead, Sasha.
He's more plastic.
Yeah, but he has evolved. He went from being an emotionally uncontrollable person and with a very messy nervous system into being a more pleasant guy. He doesn't get all emotional anymore. Yeah, he did.
I can't, because I already grew up a long time ago.
I don't want to grow up.
yeah, but Sasha, come on, you gotta admit you're still retarded.
About certain ideals, I have to do myself. Anyway, what was the first thing?
Apology, sorry. And height.
Oh, but height. Yeah. So I love it. So I'm 5'10", 178 centimeters. But my
178.
Yeah, but my brothers, both of them, are 193. so they're like 6'4", both of them, and I'm like,
You're like 5'10".
I know, so fully
Sasha's like tiny though.
half a foot compared to right, and like 60 pounds lighter, and I'm like, I share the same genetic makeup. I know that for certain. And then I'm thinking, I remember the memories in the past. They would take all the fucking meat off my plate, okay? And they would trade me with their bread. It was like this and meat and the fruit, because they knew I liked fruit. They would bribe me because I was stupid too, because I was like 6 and 5 years younger, so they could just with impunity just fucking pillage my nutrition. So I'm happy that I'm 5'10". Dude, that's okay. I prefer if I was like a normal 6 foot, but the reason they're so tall is because they just had extra doses of growth hormone that was injected in the meat that we just all ate in the 80s and 90s.
Good old 80s and 90s meat supply. Chicken nuggets and pot pockets, man.
Yeah. Also at the same time, I have to balance the increased size of my penis if I was larger and it was more with difficulty in finding shoes, for example. So, maybe I want to be in the normal mean, which is like height of 5'7", 5'10". That's correlated with everything else. Sexual organs.
Wait, you shop for shoe size based off of your penis size?
No, I'm saying there's a correlation down that.
Yeah, he's pushed his penis
Well,
into the shoe to make sure it fits.
Sasha, I can tell you that it's a myth. That is not true.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that someone that has a men's size 6 feet versus someone who is a men's size 12 feet.
You just suggested that you had a large body count there, and you said.
There's a difference.
No, it's not. Try not to be
in the size of everything. How tall they are, their hands, everything. If they can palm a basketball or not. Like, I don't know. Your anecdotal data set should not be confused with just raw logic and first principles.
Well, it might be anecdotal, but it's like a research done by several women, and we all agree it's a myth.
How many women exactly he said? Because if
I
it's
don't
not a
know.
large enough pool, with a large enough body
It's like
count, I don't
several
think it really
women
counts.
throughout
Yeah, but I mean, it's all about the body count, Issa. Like how many dicks have
Steven,
you actually
I get it. You're interested in learning about my body count. You're not gonna get there. And no, I'm trying to know that. But I know for a fact that this is myth. It's not true.
Okay, anyhow, let's
put it to the test, folks.
let's throw that away. Does the robbery of the height make sense? Like why I have to apologize?
Oh yeah, total sense. But I think you're kind of owed.
Oh my God, Steven! You don't need to interject every 2 seconds.
He's getting excited.
He is.
We forgive you, Steven.
I
suffer the same malady.
Sasha can evoke something in a man.
That's right.
Something that which a man can evoke in a woman. Yet, who's to say if this female shall evoke a man?
Anyway, so your apology story is over?
Americans in America, 70 IQ.
Oh, it's over, Issa. It was over about 5 minutes ago. I mean, whenever anybody goes back to the title of the room, you know that they've, completed their point.
Are you also stoned?
Yeah.
No, I'm about to go to bed. I just took a hot bath.
Oh.
And punch that fucking cheap for
Yeah, if you want to catch me stoned, I mean, I like to wake up and, have a beer and a coffee and smoke some weed.
For the first time today, I was actively looking for a room that you had, and I found none.
I took a break today. I actually tried to like intentionally disconnect because of the Nora and Diego story. I
What
was like,
happened with them? Do we have any updates?
well, I roasted Diego this morning for a good hour, and then
What did you say?
oh, I just told him he's the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. He's stupid. He's an idiot. Just
What did
roasted
he
him.
say?
He said, you give them enough time, eventually they fool you and they get really mean and nasty, and then they're always hiding it and concealing it. And this is proof that they're all evil and then that they're not. He's like, and I told him I was
Wait,
like,
he was talking like this about like women in
no,
general.
about Jews. Everything is Jews, Jews,
Oh.
Jews, Jews, Jews. I was like, you're like a person in a straitjacket manufactured by Jews, and you're crazy, and you're driving everyone around you crazy. I was like, what's that like being crazy? You know? And I was like, you can't tell a girl you love her who has mental health problems on a social audio chat app where you're filling up her mind with Jew hate 40 hours a week. I was like, did you think it was going to end well for her and you? I was like, what are you thinking? I was like, you're going to cause serious problems for yourself.
No, it's so natural not to think about other people.
Anyways, I roasted the ever living shit. If you want to see the roast, I'll put the link in the chat. But also, I recorded your roast of him the other day, Issa, and people have liked that.
Oh, you recorded it? It's true, but I swear, like, I was talking to him from a loving perspective, you know, like, I really think that he fucked this one up, and he needs to wake up, you know. This is not gonna end up well for him.
What if he just turned off all social media and just didn't communicate with anybody?
That's what we were advising him to do, to just get offline,
You know, like
distance himself
read it,
for a few months,
get legal
disappear, change his number.
And he didn't?
No, he's still here. I don't know if you know what we're talking about, Sasha.
I could vaguely know. I was in one room when I was getting pizza and when the kids were at math. Diego was there and he sounded like a David Bovia, actually.
He does.
No, David Bovia is
Am I
fine.
correct? This is the guy that left that, like, or catfished that girl from here and left her in an airport, and she had a fucking psycho breakdown and got arrested.
No, he didn't leave her in an airport, but I love how this story is taking a life of its
I'm
own.
asking you a question, Issa. I don't really follow.
No, but hey, it's okay. Like, it's not exactly what happened, but I'm loving how this story is getting a life of its own. It's just evolving.
I know, like, the world's gonna end because Cal farts in like 12 years.
He's the kind of asshole idiot where even when he knows he's wrong and he's cornered, he'll just still deny it. And then you'll just have to throw up your hands and be like, fine, whatever, fuck it.
I like Steven.
Yeah.
Stop picking on
But you see, Edmund, he did exactly the same thing that he did with Nora. He did with the exact same thing he did with Nora. He did with Thomas as well. And he starts getting in the mind of these mentally unstable people, and then they end up doing crazy shit.
I think he's somewhat crazy.
To find a crazy person on freaking Clubhouse.
I think he's crazy stupid. Like, he says things that are like slightly veiled threats as if they're like, it's tough talk or something. It's like, I don't really care what you have to say. Like, I'm actually really tired of talking to you. You don't bring anything new to the conversation. You claim you have all these books yet. If you ask, what did you read in it? You never have anything to answer that's actually interesting. Just, you're boring. And like, I think technically because of his legal problems, he's actually like depressed and like has a lot of anxiety, especially if he's going to get sentenced to jail. But even when you ask him about, is Alvin Bragg up your ass and is this attorney general summary statement true that you got found guilty for tax evasion, etc., it's like he's like, I love that people think that's me. It's like is that you? Like, do you ever talk about yourself? And if you watch the video that I posted in the chat, I tell him, I'm like, yeah, I never even asked you your name at the gas station. He's like, yeah, why didn't you? And it's like, because I don't respect you. I was like, you're a praxeologist philosopher. I was like, you're stupid. It's like you didn't even graduate high school. Like, he's like a little boy perpetually. He's stupid.
Yeah. I do like Diego a lot, but I have lost a lot of respect for him since the Thomas thing, and now with Nora, it's completely like my respect for him. It's at level from 1 to 10. Oh my God, Sasha, can you hear that my mouth is still moving?
No, I know. I just have a quick question.
The problem is your mouth is always moving.
Well, then if you don't like it, you can leave. But anyway, the point is that my level of respect for him is at probably 1 or 2 at the most. It's like about to completely die.
I don't know. I just think it's stupid to think that this app has any like significant long-term value for you, the user. I mean, I find it amazing that it is just like a daily thing for people where you have to value that opportunity cost, that truly nothing is happening here. It's a waste of time. Nobody's talking about anything interesting. It's all just generalized chatter and short-term dopamine. But nonetheless, like I believe that if you're going to come on here and every other sentence is the Jews, that's like in 1989 being an LGBTQ political speaker talking about gay people every single day for gay political purposes. It's gay. Like, you're stupid.
That's right. Did you pay for the VIP option on this app? You paid the Jews, now you're upset about it because they charged you $19.89, and it turns out that they were actually LGBTQ people.
No, I'm angry that Hinge deletes my account even after I pay for the subscription. No explanation. It's like, why do you keep taking my money and deleting my account? This is so stupid.
You get deleted from everywhere.
And you literally realize you're blaming people. You're blaming the Jews for your boredom with this app because other people are blaming the Jews for other things.
No.
You're blaming the Jews.
Like
120 IQ. What did they do? Extra credit? I got every question right.
I'm not saying trust me, I'm saying trust yourself, but don't trust stupid people who talk about Jews every second sentence. There's definitely something wrong with their fucking psychology.
Trust people who come on and complain about things that they're doing, that other people are doing, and they criticize them. You kind of sound like a Bible thumper, but you're like a clubhouse thumper.
No, I'm not.
I know you are, but what am I?
A ducky, a rubber ducky.
Pretty much.
Why are you hating on Edmund?
Who's Edmund?
He's just trying to play a contrarian. I do this all the time. This is him just jumping into the conversation.
A lot of people are very scared of you, Edmund. Like, I don't know why they freak out about being recorded or streamed somewhere else, It's like, okay, if you're worried about being recorded or streamed about something that you said, maybe you shouldn't have said it in the first place.
Exactly.
No, it's just selective outrage. I'm just one more way to get the dopamine.
I'm obsessed with dopamine. The same dopamine give you a dopamine hit.
It's not that simple.
You mean that's dope? I mean,
no, because you're going towards a bigger goal, and then the dopamine, right? It's a very simple thing. I can't explain it right now. If I'm fresh, I could.
Dude, don't be a dope.
Shut up.
I'm just trying to troll people into enlightenment.
harder because I don't think it's blocking too much.
Better just to open and close the bridge.
By example.
It must have a good hypnosis, you know? You should keep doing that.
Yeah, one
Well, are you murdering somebody out of bed right now?
I think you need to accept it.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Like, yeah, you did murder somebody, or
I did not see if this is.
yes, this is a murder. I just
Yeah, I just murdered someone. Yeah.
Those who think that they have achieved enlightenment have not achieved enlightenment.
If you feel something, then maybe you're feeling nothing. But you must change. You must change what you think with how you feel. Because
You're an idiot, Sasha.
no, this takes no sense.
Not that, because the version of action circle.
It's so true. It's false. And so false. Maybe to the end of the joint.
If there's no knowing, you can be well-being and everything is good.
Who are you aiming to make it without accent? Is that an Indian
The
accent?
guru. The guru.
Every girl ever.
Isn't that right?
Every
on
yeah.
Global Street. That's fucking like snake oil salesman.
It's so wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's retarded. It's like it's hypnotizing.
It's astrology, sir. It's astrology.
How can you really see it? That's just a possible of the universe.
If you cannot receive, you are ready to receive.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that was great.
Do you ever, this is a generalized question for the room, do you ever call people in your car or accept calls from people that are in their car and you find it kind of annoying that they always call you in the car or that you always call people? Like Sasha one time came in a room and I was like, this guy is so annoying. And then I realized he was in his car and it like made total sense to me.
I mean, I only talk to people because I can't sleep. It's any kind of damn thing.
I don't understand the question of the car. Are you saying
Meaning that like you're bored.
Just like to kill their time?
Yeah, they're trying to kill the time in the car and to get the dopamine in the car ride. So he's talking to me in a room, and I'm like, I kind of hate this fucking guy. I'm like, where are you? Are you in your fucking car? He's like, yeah, I'm driving right now. I was like, I fucking knew it.
All right, so subscribe to the next one. Oh, you knew that.
I was very attentive. Well,
I mean,
I had one of my kids.
Sure, right?
You talk on Clubhouse Asha when you have your kids in the car.
Yeah.
I like to talk when I'm together with my kids. That way they can hear you.
They think dad's on
And
like
you're
some.
not afraid of what is being said?
No.
I know.
The kids think he's like some ambassador working for world peace or something because he's talking into his fucking phone about politics.
I swear. All that all the time, but I also tell them like, hey, when you guys can use the words respectively as me, you'll be able to use them, but I'm going to be the police. And let's just grow up, like, beyond the age of, when they start puberty, that's my I can't control. So, but they'll at least have the moral architecture to leverage.
Yeah, right. They're probably like, what's dad mumbling about on his fucking stupid loser social audio chat app?
I changed my diaper.
I'm actually producing super children.
Yeah.
How?
I know, seriously.
5'9".
If you thought anything else, you would be a terrible father, sir.
He's keeping uranium rods in the
What
house
are you
just
doing
for that
now?
case.
This is not happening.
I swear to God, my last child it's frightening. How amazing the last child is in terms of accomplishments.
Well, why do you play with my heart like that?
Well, when a dad comes on Clubhouse 40 hours a week to mumble about nothing, I mean, your children, if they just collected a butterfly and killed it in a jar with some ethanol, like that would be a major accomplishment.
Oh, catching a butterfly would be great.
My kids kill squirrels and bury them in the backyard, but I think it's kind of cool.
How about it being pretty much compliant with all instructions and
Boring. Angels.
Like an exceptional child.
Instructions included in
It's like everything that you don't do, Edmund, like they'll do by nature at the age of 3.
Oh, 3, huh? Damn.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, this guy. Not my other kids.
My kids take blue Gatorade, put it in the Windex bottle, and then chug it in front of me and think it's funny.
This guy, I'm just trying to say that he's that amazing. Because I was looking for a proper metaphor to get through to you guys, because you guys were just laughing at me, so I just had to use ridicule. But I'm serious, dude.
So I have a question of the father. My kid the other day goes, "Hey Dad, making a family isn't very family friendly."
Is that a joke or is that a dad joke?
No, he literally said that to me, and I started laughing my ass off. I'm like,
That's pretty good.
You should never repeat that.
That reminds me.
Are Steven and Austin the same person?
I'm all people.
So, yeah.
It's very analytical.
Because
This
bitch doesn't like you. I know.
So Sasha, it sounds to me like you're taking all the credit. Like, did you forget that maybe you have a wife or some woman that bore you these amazing children?
Yeah.
What do you need a woman for with kids?
Are your kids going to be taller than you at least, Sasha?
Why isn't
One of mine already is.
Well done.
Do you think your kids are going to be taller than you?
One of mine already is.
Okay, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed. God bless you all, and may you all have a pleasant day.